Welcome back to Trending. Joining us now to talk sex and relationships is sexologist Dr. Limor Blockman. Hi, Limor. Thanks so much for coming in today.
My pleasure, my dear.
We have two topics,
yes.
But we're going to start with whether or not love makes sex more pleasurable for women.
Yes, I think it's a very important question, and everybody's always discussing it. Is there a correlation between love and sexuality and just arousal, pleasure, all these things? And they went ahead and examined, interviewed actually, face-to-face women between the ages of 20 to 68. I don't know why specifically, but 68.
Sure.
And they found, actually something that is not that surprising, that women correlate between sex and love. And they found that 50% of these women actually testified that they found sex to be much more pleasurable, much more enjoyable when they love their partners. Only 20% testified that they saw no correlation between sex and love, which is not surprising. And I want to say this says something about the socialization of love and women and sex. You know, if you look at the double standard, it's still alive and kicking because we still are prone to believe that sex has to be, connected to love, that having sex without any connection to love is somewhat problematic.
What about one-night stands?
Of course, very true. It's very true, and it's very prevalent, it's very existing. But yet, we see women as something that is responsible for the love, for the existence of love in this correlation, this relationship between love and sex. And I find that it's really necessary. I do find that it's necessary. I think that it does divides between women that see casual sex as something that is more, is easier to kind of play with, and women that don't. But overall, women in general, and this is just a proof of it, still see sex as something that is, when it's correlated to love, is much more enjoyable.
It's a better thing.
Yeah.
I wonder, just throwing it out there, what the results would be for men.
Yeah.
I'm scared to ask.
Isn't it scary? I would let you know next time. But the more important topic that I found this time was fascinating to me, and I'm sure you can relate. PMS, is it real or a myth?
Who would call it a myth? How dare they?
I know.
I think it's very much a real thing.
I know.
I think many women can testify that.
It's unbelievably real. But they went and examined it, and they examined 50 studies that dealt with PMS. And whenever I talk about it, I always think about Roseanne Barr that said, women complain about their PMS, but I find it the only time of the month that I can be myself.
That's so funny.
Which is very true. Be afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah.
The thing is really, what is the influence of hormones on our behavior? It's true. We all are influenced by it, if it's men or women. For men, for instance, the result is, for instance, if you see a man after exercising, after working out in the gym, there is an elevated testosterone, and that will influence potency, but also aggression. So unless you're thinking of angry sex, it's not really the best time.
Stay away from those sweaty gym guys.
Yes, yes. But when they examined it, they found that only 15% of the studies showed the proof of actual PMS, which is mood swings that start before your period, before your menstruation, and are lifted completely when you start menstruating. Is this the case? They found that only 15% of women actually testified that these are the results, that it's lifted. Yes.
And once again, women are just mysterious creatures.
Yes, enigmas that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
38% actually said that it was into the menstruation. Into their menstruation, they were still feeling the results of this, and 9% said that it was completely out of the premenstrual syndrome. They were feeling, these results of PMS all the time.
Wow.
There are women that go through it all through the month.
So it's different for everyone.
Yes, and if we have another minute, I just want to say that it's a question, because when I was talking to people outside and I said this is the topic, people said, "Oh, it's women making this up for a reason."
Oh, come on!
For a reason to play with it.
That's a cop-out.
I believe that actually, if anything, it could be a male conspiracy, and it wouldn't be a first.
I'm with you there. Male conspiracy all the way.
Yeah.
Limor, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Food for thought. And now we'll look at some more stories making headlines around the world.
Over 130 pieces of art from the Louvre are on display in Hong Kong. In an exhibit titled Inventing the Louvre, from palace to museum over 800 years. The show contains works that have never left the museum, including a piece of a statue of a horse head from before 500 BC. Chinese tourists are the largest nationality to visit the Louvre each year. Ready, set, dance. The mayor of Los Angeles declared April 25th La La Land Day to recognize the Oscar-winning film. Onlookers watched as brightly dressed dancers climbed down the outside of LA's City Hall. The movie depicts a love story between a struggling actress and a jazz musician in Los Angeles. Up, up, and away. NASA's stadium-sized super pressure balloon lifted off in New Zealand and has already started collecting data close to space. The balloon is expected to circle the planet 2 or 3 times during a 100-day mission. Staying in New Zealand, where 101-year-old Indian athlete Man Kerr won the 100-meter gold medal at the World Masters Games. Kerr completed the race in just under 1 minute and 15 seconds. She told reporters that so long as she is healthy, she will keep on rocking. And in Cuba's Bay of Pigs, a crab invasion with millions of red, yellow, and black land crabs invading the area. The phenomenon happens after the first spring rains, when crabs return to the ocean on Cuba's southern coast.
And staying with nature, millions of flowers were in peak bloom over the weekend at the 34th annual Skagit Tulip Festival. Look how beautiful this is. Located about 70 miles north of Seattle, the river mouth is covered in fields of flowers, mostly Dutch tulips, daffodils, and irises, which draw nearly 1 million tourists during the festivities in the month-long celebration. And coming up next, all the sci-fi news to round out your week. Daniel Roth joins us in studio, but first, the news.